Happening now, first at 4 after 13 years with San Antonio. City Manager Sheryl Sculley announces she is retiring. Eyewitness News reporter Sharon Coe joins us live. And Sharon, why is she stepping down?
Well, Deborah, now at 66 years old, she says this was her decision and she's wanted to retire for the last 2 years, but stayed so she could help complete several big city projects, including the Alamo Plan and the approval of the 2017 bond program. In 2005, she was recruited to come to San Antonio, and in the last 13 years, she's accomplished a lot for the city, balancing the city budget, improving major infrastructures, and beefing up the city's economy. Today, the mayor said her decision was not because of the recent approval of a city charter amendment limiting the salary and term limit of future city managers. Sculley earns a base salary of $475,000. Now, that recent measure does not affect Sculley. It was still viewed as the voters saying they wanted her out.
This is about 13 years of fiscal stewardship. Our city has never been more healthy. It's never been more equitable. It's never been more successful. It's the best run city in America, due because of Sheryl Sculley and the team she's assembled.
It takes an outstanding team to lead a $3 billion corporation with 13,000 employees, and so I'm proudest of the talent that we have amassed here in San Antonio at the local government level. They are outstanding professionals, very capable, could compete in any market. Secondly, the financial management of the city. For the first time in the city's history, we earned a AAA general obligation bond rating that has enabled us to borrow money at the lowest interest costs, meaning we can put more money into production and do more street repairs and sidewalks and drainage improvements for our 1 million plus residents in the community.
Sculley says she'll stay until she's replaced, and she will leave no later than June 30th. Reporting live, Sharon Coe, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.